Welcome to Creators Live. Today's a very special day. It is actually our first anniversary of Creators Live. So we've been doing this a year. That's 52 of them. So thank you guys for joining in. Some familiar faces, some not so familiar. I'm not sure how many of you are our regulars, but I'm Lana and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager here at Omniprint.
And I'm Michael Pope. I am the Training Coordinator.
I'm Serafin Aguirre, the Tech Support Service Manager.
And I'm your normal host, Brian Mitbo. Woo!
Wow, a year,
All right.
52 weeks.
Yeah.
So a
52.
year ago now we started this, and I don't know how many of you guys have been on this, but the very first episode that we had, we actually had an outage. Everything just went black, and to see this, what it's become now, a year later, this is amazing. This is awesome. You guys have been doing a great job with this. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I think we've definitely come a long way. So one thing that we wanted to do for you guys today is go ahead and recap all of the different resources that we have available to all of our customers here. So this is all of the good stuff that you guys, if you're not already taking advantage of, it's all these key resources that'll give you a ton of good information that we're constantly updating. So did you guys want to start at a particular place? Who wants to go first?
Sure. So as you're aware, we have the Online Academy. So that's a great resource for your training videos. We're going to be continuously improving those videos and updating those videos. So continue to check out the Academy because we'll be revamping things and adding more. We also have a new knowledge base that I believe we've talked about for the last few weeks. That's launched and live, and Mauricio is going to be sending the link to that. On the knowledge base, what we're doing is we're compiling a lot of the different questions, a lot of the different common questions and troubleshooting and different things that you're experiencing. So we're compiling that into articles, and we're compiling that into videos, frequently asked questions. So that's just a great resource for you to go back to. You can download maintenance schedules and all different kinds of software, and so that's going to be our go-to for connecting you with the information that you need.
That's awesome. Yeah, for the tech side of things, you guys still have the support at omniprintonline.com. You guys can go to our website and create a ticket, right, and reaching out to your tech support team. I know a lot of you guys have personal relationships with some of the tech guys, and you go directly to them to make it a lot easier and a better experience overall, right, which is our goal here at Omniprint, our customer focus. So continuing to use what Michael just said, you know, the knowledge base that just launched, the support email, right, and getting all that information out to you guys. We've also got the maintenance logs, the official maintenance logs. So if you don't have those yet, please reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy to email those to you. It's a nice little hard copy for you guys to have, or a soft copy, I should say, for you guys to have for the maintenance on your pretreatment machine or the maintenance on your free jet. So it's always good to have that. That log actually helps when you submit a ticket and you need assistance, right? If you keep track of what you're doing on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, yearly, it makes it easier for your tech support team to assist you a lot faster and getting to you quicker. So a lot of resources, right, to be able to get a hold of us and for us to reach out to you.
Mm-hmm. And then on the social media side?
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are already following and engaging on social, but through Instagram and Facebook, we put a lot of our content there in addition to YouTube. So if you ever want to like backtrack, or you need to check something out, or you forgot how to troubleshoot something, or you need some inspiring ideas, that's always there for you. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and following us on social. Mauricio is going to put it in the chat just in case you're not. Then you could sign in and follow us, subscribe, etc.
Yep. If you guys here are in our Free Jet Owners group, go ahead and let's get a post together. Someone do a Facebook post. I'm here live, something like that, and let's see how many people are actually in there. I'm interested to see the crossover.
Good.
And then if you're not already in the group, go ahead and put in a request. I'll get you in there once we're done with our session here. Is there any projects that the folks can look forward to in the near future that we can talk about?
I think other than, like I've already mentioned, for the content side, we're going to be continuously adding helpful videos. So I think that's something to look out for, is all your daily, weekly, periodic maintenance. We're going to be capturing those into videos, shorter versions that are direct to the point and to the topic. And we're going to, if you need help or a reference, you can just go back to the knowledge base and look at all those. So that should be really helpful and a lot more streamlined and convenient for everybody.
Yeah. Great. The biggest thing is obviously with the launch of the i2 and a lot of customers being so pumped about it, right? We want to make sure that we're giving the customers all the knowledge that they need to make sure that they're successful, right? Reaching out to your direct rep, your tech agent, any of our customer service representatives will definitely help you be successful, and logging into these creators' lives, right? Or also the one-on-ones that Victor has, right? Where it gives you guys some feedback and some additional help on how to get yourself out there and increase your business and becoming successful, because that's our motto here, right? We empower business owners to be successful, right? To create their own brand, to be spontaneous, to be artistic, to do everything that they need to do to make sure that you guys are successful with our free jets, with our i2, with our DTD, DTA, our DTF machine that's also launched. So it's awesome, all the stuff that we have coming out here, and all of the customers that are excited with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, in today's episode, we wanted to really go through and give you guys a rundown on everything that you have at your disposal. Sometimes, we get caught up in our day-to-day lives and we're super busy. Everyone is, we know it. But at least, you have resources to refer to. And you guys are doing the right thing. You're here, you join in, and you guys are great. A lot of people need to take a step in the right direction, but, through all of these different avenues, we're just providing you with value. We want to help you guys in the best way possible and help you build and scale your business.
Yeah, another thing that the training team is doing is we do have the ability to connect with us and schedule on our calendar through Calendly, just a 15-minute session where we can answer your quick questions or maybe schedule further time with you. So that's another resource that you can just schedule right on our calendar when it's available to you, and you can get right on with a trainer. And like I said, we'll take 15 minutes, answer your questions, point you in the right direction, help you navigate those resources, and then if you need, we can schedule some additional training for you as well.
Yeah, that's really great. I think just any additional help is always very valuable.
For sure. And I think also the goal of today is getting some of your guys' ideas, right? Where is it that you need help? What do you feel the next year should lead us, right? What would you like to see more of in our Creators Live, or ideas that you feel may help you be move you to that next step, right? If you want to go more in depth in the usage of your direct rip or the usage of your printer, more in depth of maintenance, things of that sort. Those are the kind of things that we want to have today, right? So that way we know what to look for. You guys also will know what to look forward to for 2022, right?
It's important for us to know what really works and what's most valuable to you guys, and then what you could kind of do without. Sometimes we try to do it all, but we just want to provide you guys with the best value.
So any suggestions you guys want to throw in the comments? Write in the chat and the Q&A, or any suggestions or any questions you guys currently have right now. You guys have 4 of us here. Deep dive into direct rip. Awesome. Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we're doing that. All this stuff that you guys are putting in the chat, we're definitely going to put it down so that way we can break it down into an entire session, right? Mm-hmm. So like the direct rip, we actually want to sit there and do an entire Creators Live on direct rip. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's been a popular one.
Yeah, for sure. Any questions on how to get into certain like the knowledge base? I know you guys got that up there. Mauricio put everything up there. So if you guys have any other additional questions or any additional suggestions or something that you guys would like to talk about, I'd be more than happy to discuss with you guys.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
I sent Brian an email this morning about how to switch the rip over to a different color t-shirt. I can't seem to find that. I'm stuck on a black t-shirt, so every time I try to print a different color shirt, I can't get that changed.
Oh, I know, and that one is sometimes it's a basic thing that we sometimes forget. But when you go to the print preview, on the top left area, I guess right in the center, there's a little button that has a like a black, like a paint bucket, and you can click on it, and you'll be able to select. It has the most common shirts in the beginning, but if you know the lab numbers, you can customize it to the exact color of the shirt.
I went in there and did exactly that on Sunday, and I changed it. I went into Gildan and got the actual color code for the shirt.
Nice.
And I actually switched it over to that in there, and it changed the color in the preview of the print to it. But then when I printed the t-shirt, it left all the black out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So you need to adjust your environment.
Yeah.
So in the environment, you need to choose, instead of the black garment, you need to choose dark.
Use dark?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
I don't think I did that, honestly.
Yeah,
that'll do the trick for you. Yep.
Okay. And I don't know if you remember the email from this morning or not, but I was the one that sent you the email.
Yeah, I replied to you too.
Oh, did you? I drive a semi Monday through Thursday, so I get pulled over in time to do this with you guys on Wednesdays.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you joining us today.
Good, thank you.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, perfect. I'll change it to dark when I get home on tomorrow.
Great.
Thank you.
So I see Shore asks, I would like to see colors, the color chart for DTG, DTF color matching. Sure, so we have Pantones available for you guys. We can actually send those out to you so that way you guys can match up your colors better. Brian or myself can help you guys with that. So if we don't have your email there, please type it into the chat for everybody, and we'll, not for everybody, actually for Omniprint, and we'll go ahead and send it out to you guys. Yeah, just for us to see. And we'll get that over to you guys.
Latanya's saying...
Tanya's our winner from 360.
Oh, really?
Nice. So I'm having issues with the white underbase not laying down very good. Okay, so I guess the first thing we would need to see there, right, is how does the nozzle check look, right? Once we get a better idea of what that looks like, then we can go into the underbase and figure out, is it because we don't have a good nozzle check first, or is it because we're missing something else, right? So if we can maybe get you to unmute yourself, Latanya, maybe you can give me a little bit more info on that. You there, Latanya? Maybe you're at work or something, can unmute yourself.
She's being shy.
Yeah, maybe. That'll do it.
On them Pantone colors, can I just send an email to Brian to get one?
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah, of course. Latanya Wiggins? Maybe Mauricio, you can unmute her. All right, Latanya?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yep, yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, so so the white underbase is just not laying down like a nice coat of white in order to print the color on top. So then of course the color on top isn't as vibrant as I know it can be.
Right.
So I don't know if that's like my lack of the pre-treat. Am I putting too much? Am I not putting enough? You know, is the shirt dry enough? Is it not dry enough? I don't know what that could be.
Yeah, so those would certainly be factors, but the easiest thing to rule out first is the nozzle check. So we would have you print a nozzle check, see how your white channels are doing. If your white channels are looking kind of poor, then we want to fix that before we try troubleshooting anything else. That's going to be the easiest thing to narrow down right off the bat. And if the nozzle check is fine, then next thing would be to look at the pre-treat, how much you're putting on and how dry it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I do a nozzle check every day, so I'll do another one and just take an extra look at it, and then just
One suggestion. Oh, sorry, Latanya.
no,
One
no, I
quick
was just gonna say,
suggestion.
if the nozzle check is okay,
Then
would
at
you
that point,
think
we
it's
would.
too much pre-treat or not enough pre-treat?
If it's not looking very vibrant, probably not enough pre-treat. And you have to make sure that you're shaking your pre-treat before you spray it on the shirt.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. I don't know that I've done that. Okay.
Good question, Latanya.
All right.
And just, I think for all of you guys, if you haven't gotten a suggestion yet, we do use the clear sheets that you can get at Office Depot or Staples to print our nozzle checks. I know that we've been suggesting them now for a few months, so if you haven't gotten this information, maybe you guys can go out at Staples or Office Depot and purchase some of those clear sheets. They're the ones that are used for like those old projectors, when we were in school and they put the projector screens up. Yeah, those type of sheets makes it a lot easier for you to be able to read your nozzle check, especially that yellow. The yellow tends to be the one that is the hardest one to see. So it's always a good idea to print it on that. I know we had somebody's hand up. I think it was Lorenzo. Yeah, let's go ahead and unmute Lorenzo.
Hello.
Hey, Lorenzo. Yep, we can hear you.
How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
All right. All right. So, maybe last year sometime I called about some bleeding with the black ink. Even chimed in on one of the lives and stuff, and they said you guys said you was gonna reach out. I didn't get a call. So what I did was, one of the guys suggested a while ago was to get the heated platinum. So I went and bought the heated platinum, and I'm still getting bleeding only with the black. And also now I'm getting banding on the film.
So now you're having banding on just the black or in other colors?
Banding is on the magenta and the cyan.
Okay.
I think that's it.
So just because it's a bit, right? We got to look at everything. Are you doing it on DTF? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
The direct transfer. How about your DTG? How's that looking when you print?
DTG looks perfect.
DTG looks perfect, but the DTF is the one that we're having problems with.
Yes.
Okay. So and have you changed your environments lately? I know we did an environments update about a month and a half ago or so.
No, I have not.
Oh, it was actually in October. Okay.
Okay, I have not changed the environment, but I have a ticket open with you guys right now. Somebody was supposed to call me yesterday, and nobody called, and then somebody was supposed to call me today.
Who are you working with?
Trying to think of his name. I will have to go to the email to check and see, but give me 1 second, I'll give you the name.
Yeah, if you can type it on there, I'll make sure that they call you before their shift is over today, and make sure that we work something out.
The last message that he sent me was this morning, and all it said was, we have exhausted all of the stuff that we have. I'm going to basically escalate it, and I'll call you when I find something.
Okay, so I think what they're doing is they're escalating it to a higher tier tech. So let me see if you can at least maybe put the ticket number on there. I can make it a little faster to make sure that I get somebody out to you, to reach out to you and make sure that we get this taken care of.
Yeah, I saw that there was a question for me from Michael. The Academy, what the Academy is it's our online educational portal that everybody can get access to. So if you don't have access to it, certainly let me know. Mauricio can put my email in the chat, and just go ahead and email directly, and we will send the link to the Academy, and anybody can get access to it.
Great. All right, let's see. We have a question from Asfa. Is that how you say that?
Yes. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing great. How are you?
Good.
It's been a while. I'm just coming back, and my printer was on idle. I haven't been doing much, and has been a while. And my question is, I'm just getting back and putting my foot into, back to the printing. And my question is, which is I didn't take care of the machine. I soaked the head and everything else, but there's still it's still on, but there's still inks on the back. So what I want to do is I just want to flush everything and clean everything, take all the inks out. And so what do you guys suggest in order to clean all the system and everything?
So there's a couple suggestions that we make, right? Depending on how long the printer has been sitting idling, the best way to flush it out is obviously by removing all the inks out of the bottles first, then rinsing them out really well, and then putting super cleaner in each one of the bottles so you can flush it out that way, right? You can pull it, use a pump to kind of drain it out. If it hasn't been sitting too long, you can use distilled water to flush it out. Either way, if your machine is still under warranty, we definitely would like to do that with you. Do you currently have a ticket open?
No.
All right. So if you'd like to open one, there's an email there, the support@omniprintonline.com. Just put your name, phone number, and obviously we'll get your email from the email itself, and the account number, right, the serial number of the printer. We can get you started with that. That usually takes about 90 minutes for us to do with you over the phone.
Oh, okay. But I don't have no warranty. I had it for a couple of years almost.
You've had it for a couple years?
Yeah.
Okay. So then once you put in the ticket, you can actually put my name there at the bottom, and then we can figure something out to help you out.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Aswal.
And one thing I wanted to interject here with the direct-to-film, since that's been a frequent flyer on the questions, we do have all of the current updated environments up in our Facebook group under the Files tab. So that's available to everyone in the group. If you have any difficulties with it, downloading it, or installing the environments, you can go ahead and email me and I'll help you out. It's really quick. It should be really easy. Let's see what other questions we got. I see Anna B. You got your hand up. Go ahead, Anna.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us.
Good. Actually, this is just an additional note to what I think it was there. She's talking about her white ink, because this just happened a few days ago. I hadn't printed in about 10 days, and it was particularly cold. And my white was not laying out properly at all. And I had, it was from a batch of properly treated shirts. And after some troubleshooting, I figured out that even though I have a TX, not the Plus, even though I had agitated the white ink, it was still rather thin. So what was happening, it wasn't the right viscosity. So I ended up pouring everything out and remixing it with the master bottle and putting it back in a work time. But that should be part of a troubleshooting, because it's happened a couple times, but this time was really noticeable.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a great point, Anna. And then another thing is, right, depending on what you have, the TX or the TX Plus, right?
I don't have the agitator. So I don't have a Plus. I have the TX. I wish it was in the TX, but it isn't.
Yeah, the circulation pump, right? That thing turns on every 2 hours for the customers that have the Plus. For those of us that have the TX, right, we got to lift them up and swirl the bottles, right, to make sure that it doesn't, because the white ink separates. Right?
It settles hard.
Yeah, and so we want to make sure that we swirl it. So great point, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, included in regular maintenance, that cleaning. I actually had to figure that out for myself. It wasn't really brought in when I did our training. That wasn't really talked about much, but it definitely needs to be in a standard maintenance schedule.
Sure. Yeah, that's actually in our daily, but I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. We'll make sure that Michael
should be in at least a monthly, depending on your use.
Right.
If you're using it every day or not makes a difference, but it should
Yeah.
definitely be monthly. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's it for now.
Yeah. Thank you
I was
so
the one
much,
who,
Anna.
who poked about the deep dive into the RIP software because
Yeah.
there's so much about it that I think isn't addressed. And there are some things that I know that isn't part of your OEM that is part of other things like making custom platen sizes and things
Sure.
like that. They're not available.
Correct. Yeah.
And it would be late. Is there a possibility that ever will become part of Be Opened Up?
To have the platens added to the
Where we
direct link?
create a custom platen size. I mean, there's some platens that I have to basically wing it because you don't have the size for it, even though you sell the platen.
Right. So you don't ever really need to change the platen size. You just need to make sure that you know what size.
Oh no,
the
I've
platen is.
adapted. I've had to adapt the art. I have done that. It's just that there are times when changing the platen would help kind of speed things up.
I see what you mean. Maybe we're missing something there because the only time that you should have to change it is if you've got the extra large, right? Other than that, you shouldn't have to change it. We just use the standard one, and you don't need to change the image either. You just need to know the size of your platen because it starts from the center. All platens start at the very top center. Yeah. So
like I said, there are times when you have to turn it sideways, and I ran it when I was trying to use the child's one for the first time.
I see. Okay, got you.
And it was very awkward.
Yeah. So maybe I think at that point maybe adding some additional content, right, about platens in our training. That's actually something that we should. That's a good point.
There's a math calculation to use the youth platen if you have to turn it sideways.
Yeah.
You don't.
True. You shouldn't have to, right, unless you're going to be printing on that as that being your width, right? But the child or the toddler one, you should be able to print with it without having to change anything, and it shouldn't be too difficult. It should be something fairly simple. But if it's something that we missed, then this is definitely good information to have for our training, right? So really appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I see a question from Jose. For those of us that are still pre-treating with the Wagner, is it okay to leave the pre-treat in the Wagner container? I usually use a coffee filter and pour it back to the original bottle. You don't need to filter it. It's already ready to go. You just need to make sure you shake it enough before you introduce it into your Wagner spray gun. So don't filter it. You're taking out all the good stuff that's in there. You're going to be neutering your pre-treat by doing that. And then as it sits in the bottle, it'll also settle, and that's why it may become chunky over time as well. So what I would recommend is when you're done with it, pour it back into the original container. That way, in the past, I've gotten confused about what pre-treat was in the bottle. And unless you're really experienced with like the smell of it, you really won't end up being able to tell. So I would say just put it back into the container when you're done with it.
Good question, though. I think we have Dennis who raised his hand up again. Is that right, Dennis?
Yes, it is. I want to go back to the platinums. Excuse me. When I'm trying to print like a left chest logo, I seem to have problems of where it's going to print at, and being that you were talking about the platinums and where they're going, in one part it's got like the properties, and you go in there, and that's for like you don't do anything there, right?
Correct.
So on the very first page on the RIP is where I put it.
Correct, on the show, on the little Q RIP.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only place that you would tell it to.
You do top center
where you want to place it, right?
Okay, so if I want it to be top center, I put it in the center one. But if I want it on the left, I click the left one.
Well, yeah. If you're using are you using a chest platen or are you using the adult regular standard platen?
The adult platinum.
Okay, so if you're using the adult platen, then yes, you would select for it to be on the top left, right, so that it moves the image over. And then you would do the margins from there, right? 1.5 inches from the top, and then you want to make sure that you move it away from the edge of the platen, right? So then you want to make sure that you put maybe like a 1/4 of an inch from the side of the platen. Yeah.
So if I'm looking straight at the press from the front of it, what side is left or what side is right?
So the left is right and the right is left.
So the side with the controls is left?
That would be left side.
That would be left, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. So
yeah, control panel is left side, other side is the right side.
Left side.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's where I'm having the problem. So when I'm looking at the rip, I want to click it on the right side of that to be left.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if I'm using the sleeve piece platinum, do I still push that into the corner grooves?
Yep. Yeah, you still want to pull that corner, pull that platen into the corner.
Okay. And do I tell the rip anywhere where that platinum is? I got to change it, right?
You can just go ahead and do top center and just make sure your image is narrow enough to not print over the edge.
Okay. Perfect. I was just doing like a flag on a sleeve.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just putting the sleeve up on there, but I kept missing it, and I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Right, that's great. I took a bunch of notes on that. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
No problem.
Sure thing.
Good question, Dennis.
All right, we got Cannon raising his hand.
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Okay, so I just started doing the DTF off the FreeJet Plus,
Great.
and it looks really great. One thing I had the question was on the settings when I was doing it on a black garment, or I have a job coming up that's a teal, dark teal, so I'm just going to select black on that. But here's the thing: the settings was at like 48 on the white underbase, and I noticed that when I sampled it on the black shirt, that the color started, there was just, I guess, not enough underbase because the orange that was laying on top of the white was looking dark. As soon as I put it, I went to 75 on the underbase, it looked really good. Now, here's the thing. It seemed like a god-awful amount of white ink. I was concerned about, is the curing time still the same, and will it hold up on this is the DTF side?
Yeah, so the curing will still be the same duration. You just want to make sure that you have enough powder on there so that it has a nice, easy transfer for you. If you're lacking on the powder, then it's gonna rip on you when you try to transfer it.
Yeah, I didn't have that problem because I made sure I overdo the powder.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just too fanatical with that.
And then I did want to mention before we get too far away from it, you do have, you mentioned that you were going to use the black environment for the purple shirt.
No, it's going to be a dark teal.
Oh, okay. For the teal shirt, you want to use the dark or the color. The color environment for that.
I don't think there's a dark environment on the new one. I think it's
I don't think there's. It's called color on the DTF ones.
Okay, so if it's not a black shirt, okay, because I noticed when we print with DTG, if it's a dark, they say use all the dark settings, like the black shirt, dark settings on DTG, but on this one, go ahead, just use the color.
Yeah, color is going to be the same thing as dark.
Okay, great. And then one other question. So using that much white ink, that won't cause that to peel because the powder's the glue, correct?
Yeah, the powder is the bonding to the shirt. Okay. And then when you're curing the ink, we're going to be curing it for long enough, so long as your heat press is at the right temperature. We're looking for at least 260.
Okay. One other thing I will say, I had 2 other companies send me some samples for the DTF, and this actually feels way better. Theirs crunched when you squeezed it. Yeah, my wife said it feels like plastic. When you did the one from Omniprint, it was really good. Actually, it almost felt more a thin layer of plastisol than which is a lot better than having something that crunches on you. That was good. The other thing too is I noticed, just to let everybody know as well, is when like he was talking about the pockets. I wound up with a pocket platen, and that actually made my life easier on the pockets. But now with this DTF, I'm just gonna do that for the pockets. That's the easiest way to go, and that'll be faster than trying to set up, pre-treat and set up.
Yeah, that will be an easier approach than loading it onto the platen. And then one last comment for that. If you like how it feels with the normal instructions, let me have you press it 5 seconds a second time after you peel the sheet, and it's gonna really enhance the whole finished product for you.
Okay, yeah, that's why I was wondering, because this one company told me the same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you just do a second press.
Yeah, second press with a cover
same pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that you know what? One thing about the DTF, if you have a lot of space in between your art, not just a solid piece, it's perfect, you know, because it feels good. It feels actually better than a vinyl cut, you know. And there's some good vinyl material out there that feels good, but this is a lot better. This is lighter than vinyl, and it looks really good. So it's crisper than trying to print directly. I noticed I did the same image, just DTG'd it, and then compared it to the side by side, and it's more crisp to do the DTF.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Well, before we go to the next customer, I did see, or the next question on the Zoom, I did see somebody ask something about a pre-treatment box, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then you guys saw that. How do you get rid of it? The best way to get rid of it, because we are applying pressure with the heat press, is a conveyor dryer, right? So getting the conveyor dryer will actually make it the easiest way to get rid of it and have that retail ready feel. It does wash off, right? So you don't need to worry about that if you're not ready for the conveyor dryer. But we also have the bottom heat press, or you can also hover. There's a bunch of different ways to actually trying to get the box removed from the pre-treatment. So sorry that I missed that question just a moment ago, but I want to make sure that I answered it. We can go over to Lori, right?
Hi, thank you. So I had a
welcome.
question about I'm trying not to waste any more hoodies. I'm trying to do a hoodie and put the put the garment in on the side, and I continually I'm doing something wrong with the settings or something, and it's messing up. It's printing upside down, or so I need to figure
Rotating
out.
it the wrong direction.
Yeah. Like how do if I put it in from entering from the right side of the printer using the adult platen, I need to know what settings to use properly.
Are you talking about like which direction to rotate it?
Right. Which direction to rotate it?
So if the hood is on the control panel side, you need to rotate it counterclockwise. If the hood is away from the control panel, you need to rotate it clockwise.
And you'll see it right at the top, CCW 90 or CW 90.
Okay, but repeat that one more time for me. The first part, you said if I enter.
So the control panel side, if the hood is at the control panel side, you go counterclockwise. And if it's away from the control panel, then you go clockwise.
Okay. Okay. This is getting kind of pricey. I'm making these goof ups. Okay.
Depending on the design, I know DTF is really, really good for hoodies. It really simplifies, because hoodies, you got to put more of everything. So if that's something that you haven't considered, then maybe that's a good approach too.
I have the kit. I just need to, I'm a little intimidated by the process, so I just need to dive in. But
get some practice with it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Don't be. It's real simple. It'll take you a couple days to get it right. It's like everything else. It's like practice when you first started pre-treating, all that good stuff, right? So it'll be very simple after you do it a couple times.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all.
Nice meeting you, Lori.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Next we got Inkflow.
How you guys doing?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for joining us.
Two things. I did ask the question about the pre-treatment box, but what I'm seeing happen is after you wash the garment, you see the box come up after the first wash. I don't know how to avoid that. I've seen it happen on light color shirts. I thought it was maybe the amount of pre-treat used, but
or we could be pressing it for too long and it's burning the garment.
Or too hot.
okay.
Right, or the temperature as well. Yeah, good call on that. So what do you have, a TX or a Plus?
I have the TX.
The TX. Okay, so what do you usually have your temperature at?
I followed a sheet directly, so I think it's like 315 or something like that.
Okay, so yeah, so for the light shirts, it's 330, and then for the darker shirts, right, 345, right? So that's what we want to have the temperature at to make sure that we're curing it. Maybe what I would try is hovering for about 60 seconds first before we actually apply pressure, and then that should help you with the number one for it to fade out. There are a few other tricks that we do, right, which is shorter presses for shorter period of time, so that way there's not so much pressure on the garment. The lower bottom heat press, right, that one also helps with the kind of the dissolving of the box. And then there's also the conveyor dryer, right, which that one is always going to make it 10 times better, because you're going to dry your pre-treatment, so there's no pressure there, and then there's no pressure when you're drying or curing your ink.
I think I may have to go to conveyor route, because I have the IQ Fusion, and you can't attach the bottom heat palette to that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's something that we could discuss. We do have it here. I don't know if you'd like to maybe. Who's your rep?
I talked to Marvin about that. I was speaking to him earlier, so.
Nice. Okay.
I talked to Marvin about that. Another thing is, can we add to the website not the waste bottle, but the cleaner bottle for the 330?
The one that goes upside down.
Right, it collapses, you know what I'm saying, from the pressure, and then now we have to call in to order just that little part, you know.
Got you. Okay. Great idea. Yeah, well, Lana's here, so we'll make sure that she gets on that.
Between that and the plastic plunger part that's inside the spring coil, those two items are constantly needed. And then for Lori, that with the hoodie, I have the same issue. Try printing on the platen directly, just to make, instead of wasting the shirt, print on the platen and see where it's lining up, and then you can just clean your platen off.
Wow,
that's one way to do it.
That's a great, and this is, at the end of the day, this is what Facebook and this is what Creators Life is supposed to be, us helping each other. I never even thought about that, right? I've been doing this for a while, and the fact that you just said that, yeah, that's true. You can just put it there, and you can size it, you can mark it, right? This is where the collar is, this is where my margins are, so that's an awesome idea.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Looks like we got Lorenzo next.
Yes.
You did it already. Hello.
Hey, Lorenzo.
It's me again.
Yep.
I had more questions about that new DTF that you guys got.
Okay.
First thing, is there going to be like some it's automatic set as far as the heat goes for the heated part that's supposed to cure the transfer?
So the conveyor dryer, it has adjustments, right, for the heat. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I want to know if there's going to be like a standard heat setting for it.
There's going to be a standard heat where to have it for all of it. Correct.
Okay, and she said it was 13,000 altogether, correct?
Correct.
13,995 with the oven and the printer.
Okay. The last question was, when do it supposed to come out?
So we're doing pre-orders now. We've been doing pre-orders for around almost 3 weeks. So we'll be able to ship in like 2 months or so, 2.5 months. Yeah, so it's a pre-order now. So if you guys hit up your rep. If you don't have a current rep, we can get someone over to you.
Okay. Well, that'll work. You said just a little while ago, when you pressing the DTF transfers, you want to press them at 260, you said?
260 is the low end. It depends on what you need. We've talked about it in other live sessions about DTF. If you're doing fulfillment for other people to transfer themselves, you have to melt the powder. Otherwise, you can skip melting the powder and cure the ink at a lower temperature to be easier on the finished product, and you can transfer it right away on your own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you're going to do the transfer yourself, 260 is enough heat.
Okay, and if somebody else is going to do it, it should be what?
So the bottom line is melting the powder. So each person's shop will have kind of different environment. So whatever temperature you need to melt that powder effectively. Do we have a recommended temperature for that? Is it like 350?
No, it's somewhere in the low 300s. Yeah.
Right, because on the sheet that it comes with, it says to press at 320, and that's what I was just pressing at. Like all my other ones came out fine, but these started to rip up, well, come up a little bit on the black.
Well, do you mind showing me the sheet there, Lorenzo?
That I'm using?
The sheet that you're referring to? So that one there, okay, yeah, that one's to melt the complete powder, correct, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So this says apply, when you applying it, you put apply for 15 seconds at 320. So
let me have you do 25 seconds. 25 seconds. Yeah.
Do 25 seconds?
Yeah, try 25 seconds since you're having transfer issues.
Okay, I'll try that. Try 25 seconds.
There's some good recommendations in the chat there I see as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And I just send over a message to the tech agent that will be helping you. They should be reaching out here shortly, setting up a time with you.
It was Warren, correct?
Yeah.
I put the number in there too.
Correct, yeah. I got it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
Okay, bye.
All right, next up we've got SMB Creative Studio. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I got a question. It's not too good though.
Okay.
I actually purchased my machine from you guys 2 years ago, and I've had literally no issue with it up until probably 2 months ago. Probably about 2 months ago, where I started losing channels. Right.
Okay.
I lost one of the white channels first, and then I turned around and lost one of the red channels. I opened a tech ticket. I asked the tech rep. I said, he walked me through the process of trying to save it, but then he asked me how long had I had it. Of course, it's out of warranty or whatnot. But he asked me, had I replaced the print head? That was actually the first time that I got the message that you're supposed, like they say, it's recommended to replace the print head every 12 months or every year. I didn't get that memo when I first bought the machine. One, right? So two, I said, okay, fine. I wasn't worried because, I had orders that needed to be done. So I went ahead and bought the print head. I bought the print head. I overnighted it. The print head came in, and I got back on the phone with my tech. Well, back on the Zoom with my tech. Everything was recorded. We put the print head in. Everything was working beautifully, right? It was vibrant. Everything was great. Literally a week later, that same print head shorted out. It shorted out. Now, mind you, I didn't know that that's what happened until it basically started giving me print problems again. And I'm like, okay, this is a new print head. So I guess I submit another ticket like, it's starting to act up. Somebody, reach out. So they reached back out to me. They walked me through the troubleshooting process, as I've been through on numerous occasions. Basically soaking, he had me take stuff apart. He had me go back in to where the new print head was installed. And he had me pull the cable.
Hey, I'm going to be getting on in about 5 minutes. Is that the last back? Yeah.
He saw
so tomorrow, let's do a full.
Go ahead, about that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. He saw that he said that the print head, he had me take some cables out the back of the printer and then, out of the front of the printer. And he said the print head had shorted out, and it shorted, like it damaged the
one of the pins.
It damaged one of the pins, and it could potentially have damaged the motherboard. So I've pretty much been waiting for probably about a month now, trying to figure out like what's the well, he came back and he said he would have to raise the flag up to management to see like what was the deal. Clearly, I've never had a problem with this printer for 2 years.
Right.
I get a print head. I'm walked through exactly how to replace it, and after a week of me printing, this happens, and I'm responsible for it.
Right. So just to kind of let you know, sometimes since we can't see right in a Zoom call how we're putting it in, we'll just guide you, right? Make sure that it's all the way in, that you give it a little tug, making sure that the print head or the cables isn't coming out for the print head, making sure that they're nice and tucked in, all that good stuff, right? But we can't physically see it. That doesn't take away from the point or the issue at hand, right? Which is the fact that you're not printing right now. If you give me about maybe 15 to 20 minutes after we're done with this, I can call you directly. Is it okay if I call you right after we're done with this?
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
You and I can discuss a little more?
Yeah, I mean, just for a little background, I'm a mechanical and electrical engineer myself. I served 8 years in the Air Force. So I take equipment and put
Thank you for your service.
all the time.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree, right? And it's just little things that we could have missed as well. So I want to make sure that I review everything, and then we'll find a solution.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it. What's your name again? I'm sorry, because we have you down as SMB Creative.
That's my company. My name is Quincy.
Quincy, thank you. I'll talk to you here shortly.
All right.
I know we had another question here.
Let's see.
Powder 400 for 90 seconds.
Anna put in an interesting tip. Tip for if the plunger breaks, glue a quarter to the top of the plunger to prevent it from cracking. That's a pretty DIY tip.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've seen you put that tip in before. I appreciate you sharing that whenever it becomes relevant.
Couponing be used with the plus. Yes, you can. If you had gamut ink in there prior to it, you want to make sure that you flush it out completely. The one suggestion that we do make is that you replace the print head, the dampers, the ink tube lines. Now the reason for that is because we don't know how much ink is going to be left over in any of those, and then it can contaminate your ink. We can cross-contaminate, right? They're two different solutions, two different inks, and you can end up having issues with your prints. So we definitely suggest that you flush it out and switch out the print head, dampers, and ink tube lines. Now, you don't have to do that. You can go ahead and still use the same print head. Just know that you could potentially have issues in the future, right? When putting direct ink in there, if you don't swap out all that. We have, what could be wrong with the printer if the ink starts fading after print 2? There could be ink dropout, right? A lot of the times, right, the most basic thing that I've noticed is that we're not dumping out the waste ink bottle at the end of the night. We're letting it fill up, right? And when that happens, it gets into the one-way valve that has air that's supposed to push out. And when that happens, it'll start to give you issues where the ink isn't flowing the way it's supposed to. The other thing is too, right, everybody remember that you have holes in the back of the bottles, right? And you want to make sure that those holes are cleaned out, right? Because when we lift up the bottles and we're swirling the bottles, or if we're moving them out to pour the ink out, we sometimes can splash some ink in through that hole, and it will dry up, and then as time goes by, it's covered, right? So it's not getting any suction, and that air needs to make sure that we flow. Dampers, right? Those are consumable parts that eventually need to be replaced. And the ink tube lines are another one too, right? Those get kinked, and if we're not massaging them, those can sometimes cause some problems. The best way to massage them, guys, is, this may sound gross, but it's the only way that I can really say it so that it makes sense. Remember when we were little and we'd pick our nose and grab a booger and start doing this, right? That is the best way to massage the lines when you're gonna go in there, right? So when you open up the clips, just kind of move it back and forth to make sure that you kind of open up that line. So
we're gonna make a video demonstration.
Yeah,
We're probably gonna have to work on how we put that.
Yeah, for sure.
Next week on Creators Live.
Yeah.
So no, actually, speaking of next week on Creators Live, I wanted to pose a question for you guys. How are you guys managing your print shop workflow, software-wise? Does anybody use Wurk? other softwares. What are you guys using? How are you guys managing this workflow? It can be a daunting task, from all of your orders from different places to simple things like barcoding, certain designs. Like, what are you guys doing? Put it in the chat.
Excel, okay. Trying to use it, Ron, you're trying to use it.
We want to give you the opportunity to literally change your life. And next week, we're going to be going through Wurk software. So it's Workflow Reimagined. And it's really the most amazing tool for you to use for your business to really streamline your entire workflow. And we're going to be giving you a free demo. It's going to be in the chat. You guys, a lot of you may have already tried the software. Check it out, and we'll be more than happy to, link up and go through everything with you. And next week, if you're here, we'll go through a full demo so you can really get the gist of it. But I mean, check it out. It's gonna change your life.
Nice. So if you guys don't have Wurk or haven't used it, really download that free demo, right? So that way you guys can get familiar with it. It's a great tool to have. San Marino, what is the cost included of the ink cost section? What is the cost I should include in the ink cost section? So depending on which machine you have, if you have the TX, then it would be $145 because that's the cost of the liter. If you have the Plus, it's $198. And then also, guys, on that area, right, that Kathy just brought up, you can also add things like your shirt costs. If you're paying somebody what their time is, right, from pre-treating to the end, so that you can add labor to it, you can get a real estimate of what the cost is for that shirt that you're printing. So that's a great question. So yes, $145 if you have a TX, $198 if you have the Plus. So, all right. So it looks like we have. You guys request a call from you guys on my machine. Yes, Carla, I'll make sure that we get you somebody.
Okay, and I think we're pretty much at time. I think without any intervention, we would run for another hour or two if no one else could help it. So I think we're going to cut it off there. If you guys have any lingering questions that you need answered, you can go ahead and contact any of us. If you want to ask it next week on Creators Live, that works too. We're here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. So I hope to see everybody again next week, and I hope you guys all have a great next week for you guys.
One real quick question.
All right, that's Dennis?
That was, yeah. Can I get the guys' names up here? I only know Brian.
I'm Seraphin.
Okay.
Lana.
Michael.
And Michael?
Yes.
All right, great to meet you. This was an awesome show. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dennis. Really appreciate it.
All right.
From you guys.
See you next week.
Yeah,
All right,
guys,
you guys have
just
a good one.
remember, real quick, we're opening up Creators Live to everyone. So if you have friends that maybe, are trying to get into the business or have similar businesses or just want,
or
something
employees.
to do, employees, need inspiration, share the link. We are welcoming everybody into our little community here. We want to help everybody do their best.
Kathy, the Florida office has opened.
Woo!
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay, that's it. We're cutting it.
Yeah, we got to go.
All done.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.